Remember, call our office for a free consultation so we can make sure your rights are protected.
No win, no fee. Call B&D.
A possible fentanyl exposure on a Valley High School campus will tell you how many students were involved and the quick action that may have saved their lives. Gas prices aren't stopping people from hitting the road, at least not yet. Wait till you see who's keeping a close eye on the number of those traveling out of state.
Word of Outlaw is back on the dirt track here in Tulare. Coming up, what fans are most excited about. And we also talk with some local drivers who are on the track right now, too.
Plus, your next weather maker is strong high pressure building into the west coast, and that means a nice weekend warm-up. I'll explain.
You're watching Fox 26, your hometown news connection. And now, Fox 26 News at 10 o'clock.
Trying to find the whereabouts of her daughter. She gave some inconsistent, suspicious statements.
The search for a little girl missing for more than a month leads police to a Merced home and a tragic discovery. Good evening, I'm Monty Torres. Liz Gonzalez is on assignment tonight. Thank you for joining us. Well, police in Hayward had asked Merced police for help after they arrested a woman last night. That woman has a child who had not been seen in more than a month. This afternoon, police went to a home that they call a, quote, address associated with the mother and child. Once inside, detectives say they found a little girl's body, but they still can't confirm if it is the child who was reported missing. While they wait, they've shifted the focus to those nearby who may have seen or heard something.
Anybody has seen that child in the Merced area recently, if they can contact the Merced Police Department Detective Division, we'd love to get that information.
So please take a close look. This is the little girl they've been looking for. She is 8-year-old Sophia Mason. Her mother, Samantha Johnson, was booked into Alameda County Jail on obstruction of a public officer and corporal injury on a child. Detectives are now looking into a possible fentanyl exposure that sent 2 students at One Valley High School to the hospital. Sheriff's deputies were called to Carruthers High this afternoon for 2 students in a bathroom who they say appeared to have overdosed on opioids. Both were given Narcan by firefighters and taken to a hospital. At last word, they were still there tonight. The sheriff's office says the scene was contained to the restroom. The fentanyl overdose response team, or FORT, will be investigating the substance. Deputies in Madera say they now know who shot 2 people last night, and they need your help to find him. We brought this to you as breaking news last night at 10. Deputies found a woman who'd been shot several times on Ingomar on the north end of Madera. They now say 22-year-old Raymond William Richardson was that shooter. He is the victim's daughter's boyfriend. The shooting prompted a shelter-in-place order as deputies believed he was armed with a rifle. They now believe he was out of the area when that order was issued. Detectives say Richardson is 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighs 190 pounds. He has shoulder-length dreadlocks and was last seen wearing red shorts. If you see him or know his whereabouts, you can call Valley Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous. That number, 559-498-7867. A Merced County man is now facing animal cruelty charges, and his horses are now under veterinary care. Deputies say they found these horses while investigating a home on Highway 59, but they didn't find the one they were looking for. They say they returned the following day and found evidence horses had been severely abused. They then arrested Anthony Johnson for felony animal cruelty charges. In total, 8 horses were taken from that home. At least 2 families are spending the night away from their homes following a fire this morning. That fire broke out on Cedar and Dakota just after 9. Crews say they spotted smoke and flames as they arrived. Firefighters tell us 2 units were destroyed in the fire. The cause of the fire is still being investigated. President Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had a call today to discuss actions by the U.S. to further squeeze Russia's economy.
I told them, as I have each and every time we've spoken, the United States stands with the people of Ukraine and they bravely fight to defend their country, and they are doing that.
Zelensky tweeted that the conversation was substantive and that he gave Biden an assessment of the situation on the battlefield, including Russian crimes against civilians. President Biden announced he is also revoking Russia's most favored nation trading status. As Ryan Smith reports, this comes as concern grows that Russia could be preparing to use weapons of mass destruction.
President Biden predicting his latest sanctions against Russia will be another, quote, crushing blow to the Russian economy. Although he insists direct U.S. military involvement will help fight in Ukraine is off the table.
We will not fight a war against Russia in Ukraine. Direct confrontation between NATO and Russia is World War III.
But concerns are now growing among U.S. officials that Russia could be preparing to use chemical or biological weapons against Ukrainian targets.
Russia would pay a severe price if they use chemical.
Asked this week about whether the use of those weapons would be a red line for President Biden in terms of direct United States involvement, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said the U.S. is already directly involved.
We are providing $1 billion in security assistance. We are the largest provider of that. With the U.S. military going and engaging in Ukraine and fighting a war against Russia, we don't have any intention to do that.
Biden's handling of the war has lawmakers divided on Capitol Hill, with some Republicans saying the president was not tough enough from the start.
We should have punched Putin in the nose when he had 100,000 troops on the border of Ukraine.
It repeatedly seems like the administration's first instinct is to flinch, wait for international and public pressure to overwhelm them, and then take action.
I think this is a time when we should get behind the administration rather than constantly second-guess them.
A new Wall Street Journal poll shows that while 55% of Americans support sending more military aid, like weapons and equipment to Ukraine, only 10% support sending U.S. troops. In addition to calling to revoke Russia's most favored nation status, President Biden on Friday also signed an executive order to ban the import of Russian seafood, vodka, liquors, and non-industrial diamonds to the United States. I'm Ryan Smith reporting.
More than 40 Republican lawmakers are now calling on President Biden to help get planes to Ukraine. The Biden administration and the Pentagon have said they don't support that idea. Poland had offered to send all of its fighter jets to an American airbase in Germany if the U.S. would get them to Ukraine. Pentagon officials have said they would not want the move to be seen as escalating against Russia. Some lawmakers point out that Ukraine has repeatedly asked for jets, which Ukrainian pilots have been trained to use.
And what they assessed was that adding aircraft to the inventory is not likely to significantly change the effectiveness of the Ukrainian Air Force relative to Russian capabilities.
This is a win-win. It's a win for Ukraine because it's what they want and need, and it's a win for Poland because over time it would upgrade their defense capabilities. And yet the administration is blocking it. It makes no sense.
And as we've reported, the Fresno-based 144th Fighter Wing went to Ukraine in 2018 to train troops there as part of a long-time partnership. They trained Ukraine forces on tactical airlift, aeromedical evacuation, pararescue, and cyber defense. The U.S. is now warning Americans not to volunteer to fight with Ukrainian forces. The State Department says if caught by Russia, Americans could be subject to jail and mistreatment.
U.S. citizens should be aware that Russia has stated that it intends to treat foreign fighters in Ukraine as quote-unquote mercenaries, rather than as lawful combatants or prisoners of war.
Since the February 24th invasion, the Ukrainian embassy says it has heard from more than 6,000 Americans looking to volunteer for services. Only 100 Americans, all with combat experience, are now heading to Poland in order to cross into Ukraine. Ukraine says 20,000 foreigners have joined Ukraine's International Legion. A graffiti artist is caught red-handed, police say, with paint nozzle tips, hands wet with paint, and nearly 100 spray paint cans. Wait till you see what else police say they found. Also, a Fresno County supervisor is now calling on the governor to suspend the state's gas tax. We'll tell you how much that could save you at the pump. But first, after a long pandemic hiatus, the Outlaws are back. The World of Outlaws sprint car racing, that is. We show you more of the excitement at Thunderbolt Raceway in Tulare tonight.
You're watching Fox 26, your hometown news connection. Fox 26 News at 10 o'clock will continue in a moment.
Tonight's First 10 Minutes at 10 has been sponsored commercial-free by your Central Valley Chevrolet dealers. Visit your Central Valley Chevrolet dealers today.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and it's time to add the perfect accessories to your new Chevy. Make it bolder. Make it work harder. Make it your own. Find new possibilities. Find new roads. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy pickup trucks. Plus, now during Truck Month, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward the eligible purchase of a new Chevy truck with accessories. Visit your participating Central Valley Chevrolet dealers.
No matter where you call home, everyone deserves reliable coverage. At T-Mobile, we've invested billions to light up our 5G network across America. And to celebrate, we've got an exclusive offer for your town, T-Mobile's hometown discount. Right now, switch to T-Mobile at your local store and get 25% off for life. That's right, 25% off unlimited talk, text, and data for the life of your plan. Get coverage and value with T-Mobile's hometown discount today.
The best care starts with the best doctors, the ones who are by your side for the little things, the big things, and everything in between. At Community Health System, we believe supporting physicians and making it easier for them to provide the best care lets doctors focus on what matters most, taking care of you. We are stronger together.
This is a town called Basic, where the townspeople are happy with a basic lifestyle. And that's a 2022 Nissan Altima, with more attitude, more style, and a powerful turbocharged engine to help put basic in your rear view forever. Looks like basic will never be the same. The 2022 Nissan Altima, anything but basic.
Now get 0.9% APR financing for up to 72 months on 14 models.
But for the most part, it seems like COVID-19 is finally starting to peter out.
And with spring and summer just around the corner, you might consider a vacation out of town or out of state or even out of the country.
Yeah, join us Monday on Great Day.
We're going to go over everything you need to know about the travel rules right now so you can have a great vacation.
This is where legends are made. This is the NHRA.
Saturday on Fox 26.
World of Outlaws is now underway in Tulare at Thunderbolt Raceway. Race fans and drivers are excited to return after the pandemic stole 3 years of competition from them. Fox 26 reporter Myra Franco was there and spoke with local drivers who grew up in the race pits. And Myra, what were they most excited to see coming back?
Monty, they say they're most excited to be back on the dirt track as they race the best of the best in the sprint car sport and to see the fans fill up the stands cheering them on. It's a moment race fans and local drivers have been waiting for more than 3 years. To hear those engines roar and see those race cars run. World of Outlaws is back on the dirt racetrack in California after a long pause because of the pandemic. And the drivers and fans are happy to get the green light again.
And out here we didn't get to race, unfortunately, so now everything seems like it's back to normal.
This is like going to see the NFL. The best of the best are all in one place.
It's not just for the best of the best, and for some, it's personal. What are you guys most excited about? Watching my dad.
The only sport in the world that a 9-to-5 worker can show up and race against the best of the best.
Now the National Series is hitting the road throughout the Central Valley, making their first pit stop in Tulare to race against local series from the Central Valley. The competition bringing family, friends, and fans together, again from all over to fill in the stands, and drivers eager to get behind the wheel to show off their skills.
Winning is obviously number one, but like Dominic said, the Outlaws bring the most amount of crowd and most number of people.
20-year-old Giovanni, who you just saw there, says he owns 3 series victories but has yet to beat the Outlaws. Dominic, his older brother, says he held the best season in 2020 and has 21 wins. Monty?
Look pretty exciting there, Myra. Thank you. If you couldn't make it out tonight, you still have one more day to attend. On Saturday, the gates open at 4 p.m. and the race starts at 7 p.m. And today marks the 2nd anniversary of COVID-19, declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization. And one local hospital is paying tribute to healthcare workers who've been on the front lines. Kaiser Permanente Fresno Medical Center says it's bathed itself in that blue light to commemorate the dedication and perseverance of its physicians, nurses, staff, and first responders. It also says it wanted to honor how our communities came together in the time of uncertainty, loss, and exhaustion. Since the start of the pandemic, blue lights have been used to show support for healthcare workers and first responders who've been on the front lines fighting the COVID-19 virus. And researchers are now finding traces of a new COVID variant. It's been dubbed Deltacron. Doctors say it has traits of both the Delta and Omicron strains. Deltacron has been detected in the U.S. and parts of Europe. Right now, there is no indication the strain is stronger or more transmissible than previous variants. The discovery comes as cases, hospitalizations, and deaths in the U.S. are dropping off from the peak of the Omicron variant. And cases have dropped so much that today marked the end of California's mask requirements for students and staff at K-12 schools. Masks are now optional but strongly recommended. At Clovis Unified, masks will still be available upon request from school offices. The district says it will recommend testing for anyone who has symptoms of illness. Anyone who tests positive must remain off campus for 10 days. Clovis Unified Schools are offering no-cost testing after day 5 of symptom onset or positive test to students and staff seeking to return on day 6. And with that decline in COVID-19 cases and summer now just around the corner, you might be considering a vacation out of town, out of state, or even out of the country. We'll tell you everything you need to know about what travel rules are like right now. That's Monday morning at 7:15 on Great Day, right here on Fox 26. We know now that COVID has the potential to create long-lasting issues, and a new study shows that even mild cases can cause the loss of gray matter in the brain. Reporter Darwin Singleton spoke with a neurologist about how you or your loved ones could be affected if recovering from COVID.
As the world anxiously awaits the fading of the COVID-19 epidemic, evidence is increasing that the effects of the disease may last longer than the pandemic. Case in point, this British study just published in the journal Nature found in part that those involved in the study saw a small decline in the brain's gray matter after having a bout with COVID-19.
Accelerated rate of brain atrophy or shrinkage in certain areas of the brain in people who had COVID versus those who had not.
Dr. William Kilgo is a neurologist and an assistant professor of neurology at the University of South Alabama. He says he'd already seen enough to know COVID might not be over even after the initial symptoms are.
The early, very large vessel strokes in younger patients we were seeing, some of the neuroinflammatory events we were seeing, the long-term cognitive effects we're starting to see on people who have had it. They're, what they call brain fog and the long-term fatigue, people who just aren't getting over it.
But a shrinking brain? Small, but noteworthy. According to the study, around 400 people had brain scans both before and after they were diagnosed with COVID. They were compared with similar people who tested negative. Even after accounting for normal atrophy from aging, those who had COVID saw an additional 0.2% to a full 2% loss of brain tissue in regions mostly connected to the sense of smell. And the overall size of the brain in people who had COVID declined by an extra 0.3% over those without the disease. It's not much, but
if you had, someone who was maybe predisposed to develop dementia, like you said, you would wonder it would maybe take less to tip that person over.
Dr. Kilgo says while the average person shouldn't be alarmed at this news, it does remind us of our lack of knowledge about the virus.
It's been, a lot more than I anticipated in terms of, patients who are having problems from COVID.
Until we learn more, his advice:
staying away from it's the best idea right now.
We move our clocks ahead 1 hour this weekend, but many are now wondering, why are we still changing our clocks after Californians overwhelmingly voted to end daylight saving time? Here's why. Proposition 7 was a ballot initiative in November of 2018. It passed with 60% of the vote. In order to finalize that change, lawmakers had to repeal the law that established daylight saving time in 1949. But that bill failed in Senate committee, and no one has brought it up again since. This means you still need to spring forward and set your clock 1 hour forward on Saturday night. By the way, Hawaii, American Samoa, Guam, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and most of Arizona do not observe daylight saving time. We are paying an arm and a leg for gas. Even so, we will hear from some drivers willing to gamble it all in hopes of winning big in Las Vegas. Ready to look for treasures at yard sales this weekend? Tell you about a big one tomorrow benefiting One Valley Charity. But first, it wasn't just one can of paint that police say they found on this would-be muralist. Wait till you see how many cans police say they found and what else. Next.
Jack, this is incredible. How do you...
I started with my famous toasted sourdough, 2 melty cheeses, and grilled onions, all on 100% beef.
Jack, we were talking about the room.
Yeah,
just the room. Yeah.
My sourdough patty melt combos, starting at $4.99. Order on the Jack app today.
If you want to walk away with more money at the end of your case, choose Jacoby & Myers at the start of your case. At Jacoby & Myers, we get our clients up to 10 times the original insurance offer. Choose Jacoby & Myers.
Like most backseat drivers, I'm all about safety. Pothole! Les Schwab tires is too. Because Les Schwab fixes brakes, steering, and more. See those guys? They just do tires. Eyes ahead, Dad! Look, I'm not telling people how to do their job. Blinker, I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first. Watch, they're gonna come greet me.
Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
At the Farney Automotive Group, we love to bring you great deals, and this weekly special is one you won't want to miss.
Hey Sophia, today we have a 2024 Ranger XLT for $32,700. This Ranger has EcoBoost, a sports appearance package, and is priced thousands below Blue Book. Treat yourself this tax season. We have over 500 vehicles in stock. My name is Willie, y hablamos español.
Be sure to visit us online at farneygroup.com and say it with me, drive a little, save a lot.
Does this look like you? Then choose Calviva Health for low or no-cost doctor visits and speak to local representatives here in your community so you can talk to someone when you need help. Calviva Health.
The Central Valley's choice for Medi-Cal.
It's Chick Gold's $500,000 Roundup of Riches giveaway, where you can rope yourself a brand new Ram truck.
Swipe the kiosk daily for the chance to win Clovis Rodeo tickets, e-cash, bonus points, or drawing entries. $15,000 drawings are every Thursday and Friday, all leading up to the grand finale on April 29th, when you can win a new Ram truck. It's the $500,000 Roundup of Riches giveaway.
Only at Chick Gold Resort Casino.
My sourdough patty melt has 100% beef, 2 melty cheeses, and grilled onions, all between 2 slices of my famous toasted sourdough bread. It's pretty much the greatest thing since itself. My sourdough patty melt combos, starting at $4.99. Order on the Jack app today.
Merced police say they spotted a man near a freshly painted graffiti early this morning, but they say he didn't have a can of paint on him. Rather, they say he had 97 cans of spray paint in his car. They say Daniel Gonzalez had paint on his hands and spray can nozzle tips in his pockets. An officer searched his backpack and says he found a loaded gun that had been reported stolen. Gonzalez was arrested and booked into custody at the Merced County Jail. And caught on camera, terrifying moments for drivers this morning on an interstate in Columbus, Ohio.
This guy just ran out into the middle of the road and started shooting at all the cars, and so I just ducked down and swerved.
Police say that man hit at least 3 vehicles and a UPS truck before they got to the scene. One of those vehicles was carrying a high school wrestling team. Officers say no one was hurt. Police say once they arrived, he exchanged words with officers, then began to fire at them too. They fired back, hitting him. That man is now in a hospital in bad shape. Time now for tonight's Valley Crime Stoppers Daily Most Wanted, and tonight law enforcement is trying to find Jonathan Miranda, wanted on a warrant of grand theft. If you've seen Miranda, call Crime Stoppers at 559-498-STOP. Remember, you never have to give your name, and your tip could even earn you a cash reward. How far would you go to avoid being the victim of a crime? One Portland man went as far as putting signs on his car window saying, "Please don't steal my car," and "I am poor." He says his car was broken into 3 times in a 2-week span. He says he hopes that his luck serves as a reminder to everyone.
It reminds people how important it is to protect the belongings you have. Take everything inside. That's the biggest thing. Take everything you have inside. It doesn't change everything, but I mean, it makes the hit less terrible.
Portland is experiencing its worst year for car thefts since 1995. Gabby Petito's family is now suing the parents of Brian Laundrie. Petito's parents claim Christopher and Roberta Laundrie knew their son murdered Gabby and were working to help him get out of the country. Petito vanished last summer during a cross-country trip with Laundrie. Laundrie returned to Florida, then also disappeared. Both of their bodies were later found. The coroner ruled Petito's cause of death as strangulation. Laundrie reportedly shot himself. Petito and Schmidt allege Brian Laundrie told his parents about killing Gabby. Laundrie's family attorney says the Laundries didn't know where their son was. And we have an update to a story we have been following out of Texas. A court has now blocked Governor Greg Abbott's order to investigate parents with transgender children. Last month, Texas declared gender-affirming surgeries for children child abuse. A judge ruled today that the governor's order was, quote, beyond the scope of his authority and unconstitutional. The state's actions have been widely criticized as an attack on transgender children. Texas has opened 9 alleged abuse investigations. The state immediately appealed the decision. One local lawmaker is now calling on Governor Newsom to suspend the state's gas tax, at least for now. Wait till you see how much you're paying with every gallon you pump. But first, high prices or not, some don't care and are still up for road trips. Wait till you see how many have still been crossing into Nevada. Next.
When it comes to cybersecurity, the biggest threats don't always strike the biggest targets. So help safeguard your small business with Comcast Business Security Edge. It's advanced security that continuously scans for threats and helps protect every connected device on the largest, fastest, reliable network with speeds up to 10 gigs to the most small businesses, so you can be ready for what's next.
Get started with internet and voice for just $64.99 a month and ask how to add Security Edge or ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card.
Now through April 30th, get a rate as low as 1.89% APR on new and used car and truck loans. Or refinance your higher rate loan from another lender. Apply online today at myeecu.org.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and it's time to add the perfect accessories to your new Chevy. Make it bolder. Make it work harder. Make it your own. Find new possibilities. Find new roads. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy pickup trucks. Plus, now during Truck Month, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward the eligible purchase of a new Chevy truck with accessories. Visit your participating Central Valley Chevrolet dealers.
Work without compromise with Steel battery power. Take power earlier into the day and later into the evening. With the performance and durability you need to get the job done. It's a new era with battery power made by Steel. Learn more about changing regulations in California.
It's after 10 o'clock. AmeriGuard would like to remind you to set your alarm and check your cameras. Trust only the best. Protect your family, home, or business. Remember, AmeriGuards it.
Areas that depend on tourism are keeping a close eye on gas prices right now. They want to make sure people are still able to visit and have money to spend. Reporter Jeff Gillian with our sister station KSNV took a look at whether Californians are still willing to take a gamble and make the drive to Las Vegas.
God bless people like Rick. This Californian is still making the trip to southern Nevada, gas prices be damned. I met him filling up at Prim.
So we came from the Bay Area, California, and yeah, you could feel the pain a little bit on the way here and the way back.
He tells me gas will run him a few $100 this trip, but he's not so sure his fellow Californians will be so eager to hit the road for a Vegas vacation.
Where I'm at in the Bay Area, I think the highest I've seen is 7. And yeah, a lot of people aren't doing what they do on the weekends. They're staying home.
That would not be good for us, since Californians make up our biggest drive-in market. Are they staying home? This is something we're monitoring, says the head of the Nevada Resort Association. We are not seeing an immediate impact. After 2 long years of the pandemic, visitors are eager to take a trip to Las Vegas to escape and recharge. Our average for regular in Las Vegas right now is $4.93 a gallon. In San Diego, it's $5.73. LA, $5.80. In San Francisco, it's $5.85. California gas prices have been high for months, but it doesn't seem to be stopping many Californians from coming. In January, more than 38,000 vehicles crossed the border each day at Prim. From August to December of last year, that average ranged from 47,000 vehicles a day to 51,000. Not all, of course, are from California, and not all are Vegas visitors, but on weekends many are, like Christine, whom I met filling up her tank. This Californian is making her first trip to Las Vegas, gas prices and all.
We already made the plans and we already did reservations, so we have to save money to come up over here. Oh well.
The concern for our resort industry is this. People may still drive here, but with gas taking a bigger bite of the wallet, it leaves them less money to spend here. In Las Vegas, Jeff Gillen, News 3.
If you're planning a road trip this weekend but want to fill up on the way out, here's what you can expect to pay. According to AAA, drivers in Fresno are paying an average of $5.54 a gallon now, and that's up about 60 cents compared to just last week. In Merced, it's slightly more at $5.56 a gallon. And drivers in Visalia, Tulare, Porterville can expect to pay about $5.57 a gallon. One Fresno County supervisor is now calling on the governor to suspend the state's gas tax for at least 1 year. Right now, drivers are paying a state tax of 51 cents per gallon, and that's second only to Pennsylvania. Supervisor Nathan Magzig says gas prices disproportionately hurt rural and senior communities on fixed incomes. He sent a letter to the governor with the request and is now calling on others to do the same. Drivers in Maryland will be off the hook when it comes to gas taxes for the next month. That state's governor and lawmakers agreed to suspend the tax for 30 days so the high gas prices are less of a financial hit. Drivers there pay a fuel tax rate of 24 cents per gallon. Coming up in 5 minutes, we'll hear how farmers are coping, not only with rising fuel prices, but also inflation.
The Allergy Report is sponsored by Budiga Family Allergy Skin Immunology.
Our air quality tomorrow is actually going to be pretty good. Most counties across the valley, low levels of ground level ozone. That's a good thing, but the exception to that would be Kern County with moderate ozone levels going on there. The pollen, though, is high right now. If your eyes are watering, your allergies are bothering you, that's because we have high pollen levels right now, also high mold levels. Top allergens right now are alder, oak, and poplar. We have a weekend warm-up on the way. It's going to be very spring-like. I'll tell you more about that coming up.
Job numbers out today show California is slowly returning to pre-pandemic levels. The unemployment rate held steady as the state added more than 53,000 jobs. So far, California has regained 82% of the nearly 3 million jobs it lost at the start of the pandemic, researchers say. But the state still has a worker shortage. The labor force is smaller than it was last year by 452,000 workers. Some of those places looking for a job are in Campus Point near Fresno State. Businesses hiring include Wayside Noodles, Raw Earth Juicery and Cafe, Mad Duck, Cold Stone Creamery, and Wahoo's. Ready to raise a toast to the weekend? We'll tell you about a new brewery that just opened and where you can find it. Also, you'll have an even better chance to check out one local gem just east of the valley, why crews are allowing more people to now visit Giant Forest.
A Ford built for you by you. Get yours, built from the ground up with your choice of colors, wheels, and other available features specifically designed for your Ford. Want a head-up display and Escape, 7 GOAT modes in Bronco Sport, or best in its class gas, torque, and Ranger? You got it. And now an extra $1,000 bonus cash on top of all public offers. See your dealer for a Ford built for you, by you. Get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $1,000 retail order open bonus cash on Escape or Explorer.
It's your lucky day. Switch to Noble Credit Union and take advantage of remarkably low rates and amazing rewards with the My Rewards Platinum Visa credit card. For a limited time, enjoy a special promo rate as low as 0.9% APR. Connect with us today and see how the My Rewards Platinum Visa is right for you. With a special promo rate as low as 0.9% APR and no balance transfer fees. Lucky you. Noble Credit Union, where you're worth more.
Don't just rely on your cell phone to connect to the internet. Get Xfinity Unlimited Mobile with 5G and home internet for only $24.95 a month when you qualify for the Affordable Connectivity Program and Internet Essentials. Get fast, reliable internet at home so you can do more streaming, chatting, and gaming, plus a modem included at no extra cost. Act now and get Xfinity Unlimited Mobile with 5G and internet together for just $24.95 a month, only from Xfinity. Click, call, or visit a store to learn more.
Get the Planet Fitness Black Card, our most popular membership for zero enrollment and only $22.99 a month. With access to 2,000 plus locations, bring a friend every time you visit.
I love friends.
And relaxing massage chairs.
That makes me so happy.
The PF Black Card is your ticket to all the perks. Look at that glow.
Oh, it's all natural.
It's this place, I tell you. So get glowing and feel fit-tacular for zero enrollment and only $22.99 a month. Deal ends Wednesday, March 16th.
Welcome back for another weekly special here at the Farney Automotive Group. Here to tell you all about it is one of our fantastic salesmen.
Hey, Sophia, this week we have a 2019 Ford Mustang GT for only $35,900. This Mustang is a one-owner vehicle with only 21,000 miles, 6-speed manual transmission with 460 horsepower. Treat yourself this tax season. We have over 500 cars in stock. Come see me, Raymond from South Carolina.
Folks, if you're liking what you see, visit us online at farneygroup.com. And don't forget, drive a little, save a lot.
Your smart AM routine includes great day morning news on any platform.
This is like hardcore competition. This is a major. Nothing but strikes.
Sunday on Fox 26.
We've been following rising gas prices as the war in Ukraine continues to escalate. Well, tonight we take a look at how rising fuel costs and inflation are impacting farmers. Nick Minnock with our sister station in Washington, D.C., went to a farm where concerns are building as energy costs are soaring.
The milk and dairy products we buy at the store come from farms like this one in Northern Virginia. Ben Smith, a fourth-generation farmer, works 11 to 16 hours a day on his family farm. Being a farmer has always been hard work.
Really what it takes is dedication, hard work, and a passion for what you do.
But being a farmer is even harder now with the rising cost of everything.
Everything that we use here has gone up. Last year we were able to plant our crop for a little under $500,000. This year to plant the same acres with the same projected yield, it's going to cost us $1.2 million. Fertilizer has more than tripled in price.
Smith's father says it will be impossible to recoup their money due to rising costs, and it may be impossible to make a profit this year.
As farmers, it's difficult to run a business like this. On this farm alone, it's going to cost us about $106,000 more just in diesel fuel this year to operate at the same capacity as we did in 2021.
And those are just some of the challenges farmers are facing.
We're faced with a huge trucking crisis, and everybody needs trucks to get the product from the farm to the table.
And that's not all. Farmers are unsure if Ukraine will be able to produce wheat this year with the ongoing conflict there, which is already driving up the price of wheat in the U.S.
As farmers fighting these increased costs and this increased inflation, it's just making it more difficult. And unfortunately, it's turning more and more young people away from coming back to the family farm.
You'll no longer face any restrictions the next time you drive up to Giant Forest in Sequoia National Park. The Grove is now accepting daily visitors. That's months after the KNP complex fire swept through more than 2,000 trees. It had only been open Friday through Monday since December. Congressman Jim Costa says his office has seen an uptick in veterans worried about cuts to their disability benefits. Well, now he says he's reaching out to the Secretary of Veterans Affairs for answers. He He's asking for more transparency to the disability compensation process. Those who have contacted his office say they've experienced a reduction in their disability rating and compensation after routine medical appointments. Costa worries this could lead to some veterans foregoing necessary medical care, which can have serious health consequences down the road. And happening tomorrow, Valley Animal Center is working to raise much needed funds, and it's hoping you'll stop by its yard sale. The center says it received plenty of gently used in-kind donations to sell, such as furniture, frames, decorations, toys, stuffed animals, clothing, and more. The center's first ever yard sale takes place Saturday from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. at 3934 North Haston Avenue in Fresno. That's near Dakota and Highway 168. The organization says it has an anonymous donor who will match up to $50,000. It also says all funds raised will directly impact the animals in the organization's care. This, by the way, is the Valley Animal Center's 30th anniversary. Get the latest local news that impacts you right into your inbox every morning for free. Just sign up for the Fox 26 newsletter now by going to kmph.com/sign up. Staying in this weekend? Well, you've got plenty of options. Take a look at your Fox 26 weekend sports lineup. First up, we've got NHRA drag racing tomorrow morning at 11, live from the Gainesville Raceway in Florida. At 12:30, we have a Major League Soccer matchup between the LA Galaxy and Seattle Sounders FC. And then tomorrow afternoon, a pair of NCAA basketball conference championships. At 3:30, we've got the Big East Tournament Championship, followed by the Pac-12 Championship at 6. And on Sunday morning at 10, it's the Professional Bowlers Association WSOB World Championship Finals. And finally, at 12:30, we'll have the NASCAR Cup Series Runoff Mortgage 500, all right here on Fox 26. Things are hopping in downtown Fresno. We'll take you to the newest brewery serving ales and tasty treats. But first, second graders get their hands dirty and learn a great lesson about the environment along the way. The difference they made today in southwest Fresno. Next.
The China Peak Snow Report, sponsored by Toyota.
It's going to be a great day at China Peak tomorrow if you are lucky enough to get up there. We're talking mostly sunny on your Saturday, 45 degrees. We're going to see clouds in the morning on Sunday morning, but then giving way to sunshine in the afternoon with a high of 41. Great machine-groomed powder, several feet of snow. It should be a whole lot of fun. We have a rain chance next week. I'll be back to tell you about it coming up.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Toyota, proud sponsor and official vehicle of China Peak.
It's time to check out the snow report from China Peak, brought to you by your Central Valley Toyota dealers.
It's still winter at China Peak. Fresh snow, cold temps, and grooming all over. Save 20 to 25% on 3- and 4-day tickets and use them any way you like, all in one day or multiple days with friends. Ski and ride China Peak through Easter vacation. Visit skichinapeak.com.
Before you head to the hill, see your local Toyota dealer and check out their wide selection of mountain-ready trucks and SUVs. Toyota, let's go places.
KMJ Radio News, Central California's #1 rated news team, Fox 26 News, the Valley's most watched primetime news on TV. Now the Valley's most powerful news affiliation. First, fast and accurate every day.
The fight's on for the crown right here. This is the Mecca, where the Wildcats begin their run at another national title, where UConn and Providence stake their claim for the conference crown, where stars like Champagne and Justin Lewis look to put on a show, and we all know under the Garden lights, anyone can rock the glass slipper. For the crown right here.
Saturday on Fox 26.
When I was walking to work, I noticed a van coming out of the driveway. It just ran right into me. Jacoby Myers treated me top notch.
We know you have a lot of choices for your serious injury. When you hire Jacoby Myers, we get insurance companies to pay up to 10 times more. It pays to have a law firm with 50 years of experience.
What I did receive was way more than what I thought I was going to get.
Choose Jacoby Myers.
I have 4 boys. And with one of them who is going to be learning to drive, it is very important to have good insurance.
When we bundled our car insurance and our home insurance, we saved hundreds of dollars.
You don't have to dial 1-800, please hold. Personal Express is really, really nice, good people.
Personal Express Insurance, with offices in Fresno, Clovis, and Visalia.
Students at one Fresno school got some lessons outside of the classroom. Second graders at Golden Charter Academy planted 20 trees in Southwest Fresno to celebrate the school's partnership with Tree Fresno. The project highlights providing tree equity in a community that has some of the worst air pollution in the whole state of California.
Tonight's weather is sponsored by Donald P. Dick.
Well, pollution is not our worry this coming weekend, is it?
No, not too much. Air quality is not too bad. We're going to see some beautiful springtime weather.
That's what we like to hear.
We certainly need rain. We don't see any of that for the weekend, but there's a chance next week. So we'll talk more about that coming up. But first, here's a quick message from one of our sponsors.
Subaru of Fresno, where every new Subaru comes with complimentary maintenance included.
Pretty nice spring-like afternoon, right? We're not officially into spring yet, but we're almost there. It felt like it today, though, didn't it? 72 in Fresno and Visalia. Up at Madera, Merced as well. We had 74 at Lemoore today, so lots of 70s all across the valley for today. Our high of 72 in Fresno is just slightly above normal. We should be 67 for this time of year for the 30-year average in Fresno. Here's what's going on. We have our next weather maker, strong high pressure, which is an area of sinking air. And notice that sinking air makes most of the cloud cover go away. That's drifting eastward into the valley, and that'll be centered right over us over the weekend, and that's going to allow temperatures to really warm up a few degrees more. So we're going to be in for a very spring-like day. For tomorrow across the valley, we're going to see temperatures in the mid to upper 70s across the area. Yeah, and then it'll cool down a little bit on Sunday and then warm back up some next week. 41 degrees at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. 71 at noon. 75 at 5 p.m. Even up in the mountains, it feels pretty good. Up around Oakhurst tomorrow. 67 degrees with sunshine. 66 in Mariposa. A little cooler at Yosemite, but nice, sunny. 59, 52 at Shaver. Heading on down to Grant Grove, 54 and sunny, and we're going to see sunshine and a beautiful 73 degrees in Three Rivers for tomorrow afternoon. Your valley forecast for tonight, clear and cool, little northeast breeze at 5 miles an hour, 42 the overnight low in Fresno with a high tomorrow. It looks like Fresno is going to top out about 76, but we could see several areas across the valley picking up 77, 78 degrees tomorrow. So going to be a sunny, very mild day. Great day to get out, maybe take a hike, maybe go for a walk around the block. Get out there, do some yard work. Yeah, maybe plant a tree, whatever. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day tomorrow. Southeast wind 5 miles an hour only. Then as we take a look at our 10-day forecast, we're back to 72 on Sunday with a partly sunny sky. Don't forget to spring forward on Sunday. That means technically at 2 a.m. Sunday, you're supposed to set your clock forward 1 hour. So before you go to bed Saturday night, or if you're up that late on Sunday morning at 2 a.m., just set your clock ahead 1 hour. And that's because daylight saving time begins on Sunday. We're going to be 74 on Monday. We have a 30% chance of some light rain showers on Tuesday. Let's hope that rain percentages go up a bit because we certainly need the rain. We're in a very severe drought right now. Still very mild all next week. In fact, by next Friday and Saturday, we're once again going to be up in the upper 70s.
We want to see your photos and videos of breaking news, your favorite local spots, and so much more. You can find the Fox 26 News Chime In app. It's powered by Stackla in the Apple Store and on Google Play. Just download it today and send us your content. One new local brewery hopes you'll hop in this weekend. South of Shaw Beer Company held its grand opening today. It's on Broadway near Amador in the Cultural Arts District on the north end of downtown Fresno. South of Shaw serves more than beer. You can also stop by for pizza and even pozole. on the weekends. The owners say they purposely chose to stay in that area because they wanted to be part of Fresno's Ale Trail scene. Fresno State's Orlando Robinson is still unsure about his future. Hear what he's saying about it all. Plus, the Mountain West tournament continues. We'll have those scores when we return.
Build your Ford from the ground up. Want it in a regular cab, super cab, or super crew? You got it in an F-150 built your way. And now get an extra $1,000 bonus cash on top of all public offers. All on a Ford built for you, by you. Order today.
There's a different way to treat HIV. It's every other month injectable Cabenuva. For adults who are undetectable, Cabenuva is the only complete HIV treatment you can get every other month.
Cabenuva helps keep me undetectable. It's 2 injections given by my healthcare provider every other month.
It's one less thing to think about while traveling.
HIV pills aren't on my mind. A quick change in my plans is no big deal.
Don't receive Cabenuva if you're allergic to its ingredients or taking certain medicines which may interact with Cabenuva. Serious side effects include allergic reactions, post-injection reactions, liver problems, and depression. If you have a rash and other allergic reaction symptoms, stop Cabenuva and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have liver problems or mental health concerns, and if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or considering pregnancy. Some of the most common side effects include injection site reactions, fever, and tiredness. If you switch to Cabenuva, attend all treatment appointments.
Every other month, and I'm good to go.
Ask your doctor about every other month Cabenuva.
It's Chick Gold's $500,000 Roundup of Riches giveaway, where you can rope yourself a brand new Ram truck.
Swipe the kiosk daily for the chance to win Clovis Rodeo tickets, e-cash, bonus points, or drawing entries. $15,000 drawings are every Thursday and Friday, all leading up to the grand finale on April 29th, when you can win a new Ram truck. It's the $500,000 Roundup of Riches giveaway.
Only at Chick Gold Resort Casino.
Kobe, you're my Uber driver?
Well, you know, I got a new car. I got a new part-time job.
Watch for Kobe driving around in his new Lithia Subaru Forester and wave and say hi.
Fresh out of Papa Murphy's kitchen, the Buffalo Ranch Chicken Pizza.
Actually, it's fresh out of my oven.
Dad, it's just an expression.
Grilled chicken, crunchy bacon, covered in creamy buffalo sauce. Now that is an expression.
Change the way you pizza.
Build your Ford from the ground up. Want it in a regular cab, super cab, or super crew? You got it in an F-150 built your way. And now get an extra $1,000 bonus cash on top of all public offers. All on a Ford built for you, by you. Order today.
The Mountain West tournament continues today without Fresno State. The team took the early exit after its 3rd straight loss to San Diego State. So now the question is, where will the Bulldog star player Orlando Robinson play next season? And will the team play in any more tournaments? Orlando Robinson scored 25 points in Fresno State's 46-53 loss against San Diego State in the conference quarterfinals. That's 54% of the Dogs' points. He was also the lone dog to score over 7.
I would say that the competitiveness that we had as a team, I enjoyed. Wish we could have done it further. We could have pushed this thing a lot further, but the fight that me and my teammates shared out there on the court, that's something I value.
In Robinson's junior season, he averaged 19 points, 8 rebounds, and notched 10 double-doubles, leading the team in 23 of its 32 games. And coming into this tournament, most opponents feared the Las Vegas native, but also spoke very highly of him.
They have a monster in Orlando Robinson who can go for 30 any given night.
The 7-footer tested the NBA draft waters last season, but withdrew his name shortly after. It is now unclear if he will go through with it this season.
Well, I haven't really made my mind up yet, so take it one step at a time, take what's in front of me, play these last games with my team that I have, and then when the time comes for me to make that decision, I'm sure you'll know.
If that was his final game, he will go down in Bulldog history as one of the best shooters. He is now tied with Brooklyn Nets' Tyler Johnson for 19th on the Bulldogs' all-time scoring list with 1,346 career points. The Bulldogs are now 19-13 and will now wait to see if they will be considered for any tournaments like the NIT, the Basketball Classic, or College Basketball Invitational. For the first time in school history, the Broncos will play in the Mountain West Tournament Championship. They will face the winner of the San Diego State and Colorado State game. That game is currently going on. Aztecs lead 47-41 in the second half. Clovis North's boys basketball team fell to top seed Damien in the state finals in Sacramento tonight, 65-57. The Broncos round out the season 22-12. And Greg Popovich is now the winningest coach in NBA regular season history, getting his 1,336th victory when the San Antonio Spurs rallied to beat the Utah Jazz 104-102. And it only took him 26 seasons.
Something like this does not belong to one individual. Basketball is a team sport. And, you preach to your players that they have to do it together. And that's certainly been the case in my life.
Meanwhile, another great LeBron James just dropped 50 points in tonight's Lakers win over the Wizards, his second time this week. Now, here is another reminder about our Bally bracket. It is your chance to win $100 million, and here's how it works.
This content is sponsored by Bally Interactive.
March Madness is almost here, and you have a chance to win $100 million if you can predict all 63 winners in the tournament. That's the prize for the Bally Bracket, a free-to-play college basketball bracket contest sponsored by Bally Interactive. You can sign up by texting BRACKET to Bally or 22559. Or you can also scan the QR code on your screen right now to sign up to play. You can also play at ballybracketgame.com. After signing up, an email will be sent to you when it's time for your bracket choices. Get all 63 games right, and you'll win $100 million. $100,000 in other prizes will also be awarded. Our parent company, Sinclair Broadcast Group, is an investor in Bally Interactive.
The Las Vegas Raiders signed star defensive end Max Crosby to a 4-year extension worth $95 million. Crosby had 8 sacks and 30 quarterback hits in the regular season. This extension came 2 years to the day that he became sober. And that's sports. Fox 26 News at 10 will be back in a moment.
A Toyota hybrid is the perfect balance of gas and electric power. And with 10 models to choose from, there's one for everyone. Now you can go further without worrying about recharging. Because no plugs means incredible MPG with no